Welcome back everybody. So once again you have delivered a lot of great suggestions in the comments on which gun I should cover next. And since we already talked about a shotgun and an assault rifle in the last two videos, I'd like to take a closer look at an LMG this time. So today we will learn about the Dragonfang. Now in general, LMGs have kind of a difficult place in video games. They're often the kind of weapon which comes equipped with a very large magazine, but this is going to be their only benefit, and that is kind of problematic if you think about it. Because does anyone really use 150 rounds during a firefight without finding 3 seconds to reload? It's just not such a big benefit at all, but despite that, we will still try to make it work. But as always, before we get into the numbers, I'd like to clarify where you can find the Dragonfang. The first and most obvious way is to obtain it by visiting any military location around Germany, Hawaii, Russia or Washington. On Washington, there's also a chance you can get it by killing the Mega Zombie. If you want to get it on pay though, you must use a heart beacon, since it can also be obtained as a reward for completing it. Now let's get into the numbers, or should we? Because as I said earlier, I can promise you right here that they will look quite awful. The best result this gun is able to deliver is a 3-shot kill, and that only applies if your target is not wearing a helmet. A simple firefighter helmet will raise the headshots needed to kill your enemy to 4. But really ugly will it get when your enemy is wearing Spec Ops gear. Shooting at an enemy with full Spec Ops gear will require 7 hits to kill him. At a fire rate of 10 rounds per second, you will need 7/10 of a second to kill a target. And that is rather terrible compared to other guns. Now, it is not as bad as its brother, the Nicoref, but I'll cry about that another day. So Swiss, what is the advantage of this gun? Well, rather obviously, as I said before, there is on one side its ammo capacity. 150 rounds in one magazine is pretty much enough to slaughter an entire army and their base. And their cars. And helicopters. Well, not quite, but the amount of firepower one magazine delivers is outstanding. But again, this is a benefit you will rarely ever make use of in PvP. Yes, it is useful to shoot down helicopters from the sky or damage cars significantly, but in a normal PvP scenario where there are no helicopters or cars involved, those 150 rounds are never going to prove as useful as they appear to be at first glance. Any 100 round military magazine can be reloaded within a few seconds. And did you really ever shoot your military drum empty without having 3 seconds to reload once? I don't think so. Now, if we look at the next point, the maintenance cost, it is not looking so good either. Sadly, you will have to repair the gun after almost every magazine or so, since it will break after approximately 200 rounds fired. That means that you will use more than 1 scrap metal for every 3 seconds you hold down the trigger, and that is incredibly expensive. But let me show you the good side of the Dragonfang now. And yes, it is a little bit hidden. At least I only noticed it after I played the gun wrong for a couple of hours. The thing I did wrong was very simple. I used my sights. But this is something completely unnecessary, since the Dragonfang has an incredibly small hipfire spread. Yes, not as small as the Maple Strike, but then again, it is an LMG, not an assault rifle, so what do you expect? The small hipfire spread means that you pretty much don't need to aim down sights to shoot at all, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what makes this gun so easy to play on medium distances. You will be able to see your targets very easily while shooting from the hip, since your view will not be blocked by any kind of iron or dot sight or whatever scope you're using. There are only 2 little problems we still got to solve. Firstly, it kicks rather hard and the precision of the gun is pretty awful. Now, without fiddling around for too long, I can tell you that the military barrel and the bipod will pretty much fix those 2 problems. While the bipod will stabilize your gun, the military barrel makes sure that your shots will actually land where they're supposed to. Because without it, they're pretty much going anywhere except their target. And now, having those attachments on the Dragonfang, it starts to be somewhat playable. One big question remains though. What is this gun really good for? Attacking large groups because of its magazine size? Nope, talked about that already. You'll pretty much always be better off with a 100 round military magazine. Attacking people at short range? Nope, because fire rate. Attacking people at long range maybe? Totally not, because recoil. Okay, but what about raiding bases? Well, Not really, and here's why. The one gun which can also raid bases and open up doors, and therefore is the Dragonfang's main competitor, is the Nicoref. And let's just quickly look at the scrap metal costs per shot, and busted. The Dragonfang will cost you about double the amount of scrap metal to break into your neighbor's house. But technically you can still use it to raid bases. Here's why. I'm sure you often try to break into a base and realize that its owner is furiously stepping around inside, awaiting the right moment to get a jump on you and kill you while you are placing the explosive charges on his wall. Now with the Dragonfang you don't have to worry about that, since the gun will not only do decent damage against someone's space, it will also do decent damage against other human targets. So in theory, if the owner of the base you're just about to raid wants to jump in front of your Dragonfang to stop you from raiding, you just shoot him with it. It is a raiding and PvP tool all in one. Now that's nice, but keep in mind that, as I said, although it can do both, it is not really good at either raiding or killing players. If you want to only raid someone's base, you can use the Nicoref. And if you only want to kill players, you, well, have plenty of other options. So the Dragonfang is pretty much that one student in your class who isn't really good at any particular subject, but still manages to pass through every single exam with just the right score. The second scenario I could think of where this gun would actually prove worthy is also not one of the most common ones, but surely it has happened to you a few times. It is a drive or flyby of another player. Not only will the Dragonfang tear through any car or helicopter in the sky, you can literally destroy jets or armored cars with it. And that's some serious power. And keep in mind that the same applies to barricades. Or trees. So summed up, the Dragonfang is pretty much an allrounder. It can destroy vehicles, spaces and players, but is not really outstanding at anything. My recommendation therefore is only use it when you're playing with friends. Since the gun is so versatile, it allows you to react to a broad range of scenarios which can occur in Unturned, but obviously not always very effectively. So with a group, the guy using the Dragonfang is pretty much that one person who can take care of those special scenarios, when somebody, as an example, tries to roadkill you, or you guys pass by a base which is halfway built and you quickly need to destroy a wall. Now, as I said, you can use this gun in PvP as well, but always keep in mind that you're clearly at a disadvantage when it comes to damage output or recoil. For the next video, I'd like to take a close look at a sniper rifle. So tell me in the comments which one I should cover, and I'll look into it. Thanks for watching, and until next time.